You know things, I know some too. Sit right down, the femsplain 'em to you. If there's a thing you wanna explain, these two feminists can entertain. Nerdy stuff, sexy stuff, so much to know. Tune in for the Femsplain Show.
Femsplain! Hi, Avalon.
Hi, Diana. Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, it's nice to see your nice face.
It's nice to see your nice face. I love your little Christmas hedgehog back there.
It's not a Christmas hedgehog. It's not a Hanukkah hedgehog. It's a holiday hedgehog.
Why can't it be a Christmas and Hanukkah hedgehog?
Well, I mean, he does have both a Christmas Santa hat and a dreidel, but
I think so Hanukkah hedgehog is fun because of the alliteration, but it makes me want to on both of the
Hanukkah
words.
Hedgehog.
Yeah.
But holiday hedgehog also has alliteration.
Yeah, but it wouldn't make sense to do the hard H for holiday.
Hard H.
Like
no.
Hanukkah. Well, that's the whole point.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just missed the point. But he
Yes.
has no business being a Christmas hedgehog. That's out of the question.
Okay.
Done. But anyway, this is Femsplained.
This is Femsplained.
What?
The secular holiday nerd queer femme hedgehog rodent podcast.
That's what it is. This is the podcast where the hedgehogs have the mic and people of any gender are welcome to listen to us talk about that hedgehog.
Yes.
We are doing a little bit of a combination episode of homework / wrapping up 2020. And
wrap it up tight and then throwing it in the river.
In the incinerator it goes.
Yes.
This is Femsplained officially telling you that 2020 is done.
Yes, it's done.
Done with. So in our homework from the last couple of episodes, we've had some big doozies of homework and some good ones. Yeah. But I am going to go out on a limb and say that we didn't quite meet the moment on these homeworks. However, I
think we did some of them. You just need to remind me what the episode topics were.
Sure. So, one was given to us by Nuance, Shadow Raven.
Yes.
Who this one is the one that I did.
Yes, I did that one as well.
Was to examine like your living space in your apartment or house, and keeping in mind that it probably meets all of the legally mandated requirements for accessibility, to see where it still winds up failing. And the short answer for me is everywhere.
Yeah, mine definitely doesn't meet any legal mandates.
Yeah, mine I'm sure does, because the building itself is new. But like, before even getting to my apartment upstairs, like the front door to the building,
right,
there are so many little steps.
Yeah.
Unnecessary little steps. Like where a ramp was already in progress and then it ends with little steps.
Yeah. Which I believe is something that she specifically mentioned.
Yeah. Well, I can't understand where the choice came from to put it there. And then just every door has at least 4 or 5 lips to it. It's like, I don't know. The only thing that we do have in this building is an elevator.
Well, that's good.
Which is good. But yeah, it's really a mess. And then we get into this, apartment, and also like the bathroom. Why would there be a lip there? There's no reason. It's made of the same floor.
That's very interesting.
I don't understand.
I feel like I would just trip on that.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, that one was kind of an interesting
Yes.
like thought experiment to just kind of like take note of.
For sure. And I kind of wish we could have taken that out into the world a little bit more so, but again, COVID. My house is built in the 20s, so
Oh, wow. So garbage. Yeah. No,
yeah.
none of that stuff. Yeah.
No. Did you hear my stomach growl? Is that why you made a
Yes.
face? Yeah.
That's not why I made a face. It was because I legitimately could not tell if it was me or you.
Yeah. It was.
I could it felt so, because I guess with the headphones, it felt very like internal, and I was like,
That's hilarious.
I don't feel anything. So
Okay, so we are not that bad. We did that one.
So the other one is the one that Blythe gave us. And this was a really cool project, which was to go on that freelance voice actor website and take some of the jobs and do some of the voice acting.
I did actually do this.
You did?
Yes.
Oh my God. Avalon, you never keep secrets from me like that.
I know. You know,
I'm so proud of you.
I was. I don't keep secrets. I was so excited about it after, like, that I did it that day immediately after we recorded, and that's the only reason it got done. But also what I found there was so exciting that it encouraged me to do it.
I tell me everything right now.
So that day I logged on and somebody was casting for a game, maybe? I don't know what it was for, but it was something where there was a huge cast of roles that they were trying to cast for, and each individual character was a cat. And so all of the different requests for applications were like paragraph long descriptions of a cat's personality.
Oh my God.
And their name, and it was just the most fun I've ever had. I just did a bunch of the cats.
Oh my God. So you just wrote a bunch of descriptions of cats.
Well, no, I read a bunch of descriptions of cats and then had to guess what their voice would be based on the description and pretend to be like 12 different cats.
Well,
with like different extreme personalities.
Where is it?
Well,
Give
it's
it
never.
to me.
It is not for.
Oh my God.
But it was really fun.
That's really fun. I think, were you able to see what the dialogue was?
I was for the audition, but I think that like because they give you a little bit of dialogue. I might not understand your question. They give you like a little bit of script. Is that what you're asking?
I might have been on the wrong website, because when I tried, it was like you had to like build this whole profile and then apply for stuff, and then they would send you the script. I think I wound up on like a fancier real voice actor website.
Yeah.
Which I was very confused about, but I still wanted to try it. So my version of doing this, which is not what Blythe asked us to do at all, not remotely, was I have been taking Monster Prom way too seriously.
Yes.
So I guess 2 weeks ago, we did like the long version of Monster Prom camp. And
is it easier to get the love interest if you do the longer version?
No, I did not get the love interest, even though I spent time with them each and every time. It was like the most crushing blow after 120 minutes of like a one person show of me doing all of the voices too, and like it sounds like silly, because everybody who a lot of the people who play Monster Prom, especially on stream, like try doing different voices, but like the first couple times I played it, like I tried to be really silly, and like I tried to really take it very seriously, and lost my voice for a day and a half.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And so I went to the internet, and they all told me that I needed to drink throat coat, which I just happened to have, which is good.
That's a really gross name for anything. It's
really, really gross name.
Fucking really gross.
For a pretty gross tea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it does work. Numbs you right up.
Ugh.
Yeah.
My further equivalent is I do continue to try a little too hard to do different voices in Robin's stories.
Oh, that totally counts. You're
Yeah.
Robin's favorite voice actor. You're Matt Mercer to Robin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll see. We're doing great with homework.
Yeah, we're doing perfect.
Great. What else was there?
Uh,
Because we just had a Halloween episode. And there was no homework for that.
yes, there was, and I didn't do it.
Oh, I think it was just like find a picture of yourself as a baby or something.
No, I was supposed to carve a pumpkin, and I missed the window. I didn't do it. I know.
Next year you'll carve 2 pumpkins.
That's my penance. Is I will do that. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, that was it. Just the Halloween.
think that
actually we did good.
We did good, but I think that speaking of penance, because we forgot to assign homework for the Muppet Christmas Carol episode.
Oh yeah.
I believe that our homework is that we are going to invite Francis onto this episode
to finish what he has
to address.
to say.
Yes. And to address some of his main complaints.
His grievances
From our his grievances from our episode.
Yeah.
And then after that, just as a little treat for you listeners, we're going to do a little year in review wrap up.
Yeah.
And have him join us for that, right?
It's going to be very, very factual, not a lot of emotions or opinions involved. This is going to be straight facts about what games were good and what were not. We're going to do a very hard review. I'm just
Yes. Just, the things that we touched upon. What nerd culture has done for us in 2020, if you will.
Yeah, and what it has done to us.
To us, for us, from us.
Yes. All right, so then let's drag Francis in here so he can yell at us about Muppet Christmas Carol, and we can all move forward
with our lives.
In time. And into 2021.
Ugh.
In a man's minute. Ooh, everything's explained. In a man's minute. Ooh, tell the ladies what to say. In a man's minute.
Click.
All right, so what were you about to say about Santa?
Yeah, Francis, please.
What was I about to say about Santa?
Yeah. Like, it doesn't make him more of a Christmas hedgehog because Santa doesn't count.
No, I think I was going to say that he reminds me of the people in school who celebrated both Hanukkah and Christmas, and I always was jealous and also puzzled by them because I couldn't figure out how you could have both those worlds simultaneously. It seemed like it would be overwhelming insofar as, like, do you believe your mom? Do you believe your dad? Do you believe in nothing? And I just think that's what that hedgehog reminds me of.
Yeah, it's mom, dad, or nothing.
Or nothing. It's one of the beautiful aspects of the religion optional way Christmas exists in the world, like where you don't actually have to believe it. You just get Christmas. It's a complimentary Christmas that everyone is allowed to have.
To me, Christmas is post-war capitalism.
Yeah.
And that...
Well, for me, Christmas is about the birth of baby Jesus.
But he was born
and
in the
celebrating.
spring.
And that's why I'm here today.
Oh, yes.
To
teach us all.
mansplain Christianity, the both of you.
Oh my gosh. I wouldn't hate that episode. I was just asking Francis some questions last night about the wise men.
Yeah.
I never really understood if they were kings or not, and I learned all kinds
A little
of new
column
things.
A, a little column B, because you see, my children, in the first 4 books of the New Testament, aka everything from Jesus and beyond, the first 4 books are 4 slightly different interpretations of the Jesus story. And in some of them, they are kings, and others, they are wise men, and it is widely believed by historians that they were courtiers, astrologers, or what have you, working for the kings in various lands. And this star was an astronomical event that aligned with their prophecies that they had heard about, and that's why they came to visit the child.
The reason why I can't have a podcast with you is I've had like 3 funny jokes to say about things you've said, but you don't insert enough space, so I didn't get to say any of them.
I'm like a black hole.
One, I wanted to make a courtesan's joke about courtiers. And then, what was the other thing? Oh, I wanted to say one of my favorite special episode tropes is story told from perspective of multiple characters.
If you think that as a cishet man, there was going to be a moment where I was going to pause and allow you in to make those jokes in the midst of my explanation, then I don't know what to tell you. Other than getting back to it.
Again, Diana was trying to say something.
The good Lord, which is what this episode is about.
I just want to say that I don't trust historians, and neither should you. And also, are there people who don't know that the first 4 books of the New Testament were written by different people?
Well, I knew they were written by different people, but I didn't know they were telling the same version of events. I thought it was like they pick up where the last person left off in the story.
Oh no! And then what about all the ones that didn't make it? They didn't make the cut. They're
all the
on
ones
the
that women
floor
wrote.
of the Bible.
The apocryphal books. The apocryphal books.
Yeah, I know. I brought it up, Francis, but I just want to.
So we are kind of here to talk about Christmas.
A little bit, are we? Oh yeah, we are. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Corporate Christmas.
So, one of the best parts of the Muppet Christmas Carol episode for me, because when we went into that topic, I said, Diana, I can't talk about this for an hour. And lo and behold, I didn't.
No.
Was that I really was looking forward to Francis's reaction to hearing the episode.
Yeah.
And so he is here today because I am so tickled by how mad he is.
So, I want to support you in your artistic pursuits.
Wait, before you go, I do want to say that, like, some things, like, weirdly happened immediately after we published the episode that then did change things. So
that's true. Much like the apocryphal Bible chapters, they unearthed in ancient jars in the desert.
Yeah.
This fucking song.
All right. Sorry, Francis. So walk us through your emotions about the Muppet Christmas Carol episode.
Well, I support this podcast, and I think that it's an important thing that the two of y'all are doing. And I would, under normal circumstances, I would never seek to come on and contradict or correct.
No, we forced you on.
Yeah, we did. Well, you had said
almost like to the point where it was like, stop making us ask you. You
had said, why don't you come on and for the homework episode talk a little bit about Muppet Christmas Carol? And I said, no, that's really not my space, and I wouldn't want to impose my presence. And then I listened to the episode and changed my mind immediately, because it's not that you explained it so badly. It's that you explained it for maybe an eighth of the episode and then spent the rest of the time talking about everything other than Muppet Christmas Carol, talking about Muppet Wizard of Oz, casting hypothetical versions of Muppet Peter Pan. It just was such which, indignity.
By the way, exists.
Yes.
It does, yes. Well, as a Muppet Babies episode.
Well, Muppet Wizard of Oz exists as a full-length
Muppet Wizard
movie.
of Oz fully exists, but Muppet Peter Pan also existing, even in Muppet Babies form. It was a blow.
All credit to you. I do appreciate that you managed to magic out of nothingness a Muppet Wizard of Oz. Because it did not exist before your episode.
It did.
Oh, what's that thing that people say on the internet?
Mandela effect.
Yes.
This was the Mandela effect.
Femsplain is out there creating Mandela effects.
Mandela
for about 5 people. It's really working.
Mandela effect makes me so angry because it's a theory that's just based on people being unwilling to admit they're wrong about something very, very minute and stupid. Like, that is the entirety of Mandela effect.
Or being unwilling to Google something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which one might say is also something that you all did with Muppet Christmas Carol.
I gave it a cursory Google.
But
then I stopped.
I appreciated that you read the Wikipedia article. But no, I think that any time that you get it wrong, just chalk it up to the Mandela effect.
Yeah. So, Francis, what are you've told us all how much you support us and
I
think
do.
that we're very important.
And then I
doing
undermined it.
humanitarian work here at Femsplained. But if you could just tell us what the fuck your feelings are about Muppet Christmas Carol, that would be great.
My feelings about Muppet Christmas Carol are that it's the greatest Christmas movie of all time, and that Michael Caine does a balls to the wall, amazing Yuletide performance, which I think was the one thing that in my mansplain 4 minutes I really honed in on. So it was particularly egregious to me when Avalon said he could just be replaced by any British person.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I was offended by what Avalon said, but I also was surprised because this is not the first time that I've heard somebody say that Michael Caine was only okay in Muppet Christmas Carol, which is ludicrous to me.
Who said that? I want names.
Well, what does he bring to it? He is just like, he has a sour face and then he has like a pitiable face, but he doesn't like sing or dance or like.
He does sing, and
He sings multiple times.
Not very well.
this is the true crime of that song being removed from the movie, is now you've got yokels over here saying he doesn't sing because they took away his song.
That's not his song. That's that random weird Sopranos song.
What's so weird about her?
She's a little. She seems out of place. to
She's
me.
kind
I
of
feel
like the
she
human
could lift
equivalent of
out.
the Ghost of Christmas Past for me.
Why? I thought she was lovely.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't see much of her.
yeah.
We'll save that for the spinoff.
Okay.
I just going back. Upon rewatch, don't really understand their breakup. Is it like it's a little? It's just a. It seems a little out of left field, and it seems like there's not really a discussion about it. It's kind of like we're not going to get married this year. Well, bye then.
He's kicking that can. Some people, for
kicking the
for
can.
some folks, I think so. Back in the day, it seems to me that you didn't really have like engaged or engaged to be engaged or we are a long-term loving partnership. It was either we're nothing or we're married. And so I guess she was feeling like one might feel if you dated someone for a year, and he was just like, well, I don't really know what to call us.
Well, she was like 16 and that clock was ticking.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because as we all know,
exactly.
the biological clocks were set much earlier in those days.
Yeah, they started at birth and then at 17 they killed you.
Yes. So
Yeah,
so the stakes were
that's how
high
it
for
went.
her.
Yeah.
But I do feel that he was, I do feel it's a lot more than just mad face, sad face, wistful face, happy face. I really think that I don't know. I just think I don't know. The way he interacted with people to me, like, I don't know. I'm not good at describing
Do you
acting.
mean how he interacted with Muppets?
With
Is that what
Muppets,
you mean?
I think he
Yeah,
did a
thank you.
really solid job. You know, he made those Muppets feel like they were real, which as a kid,
I agree.
I think the puppeteers did that.
well,
But also, it's how people react to them. If you like, have you ever seen a bad Sesame Street guest?
yes.
Like, I've seen some Sesame Street guests who are just like,
I
you
can't
can
think
tell
of
it's
one,
written
but I
all over
want
their
to
face.
watch that.
Ian McKellen
Oh, really?
did a pretty lousy job, because after you said that thing about any British person, I was like, all right, well, let's see about that. And I Googled every British person with the keyword Muppet next to them and watched their videos.
Avalon, you think a British person could replace Michael Caine in this movie? Name every British person.
Never mind, I did it for you. Let me tell you about
Oh
it.
my goodness gracious.
But I guess for me, like, because I got a chance to kind of already, like, glop about Michael Caine, I think that the part that was really missing for me in the episode was talking about the Ghost of Christmas Present. How do you not spend all your time talking about how great the Ghost of Christmas Present was?
we
I
did.
talked about
A
it.
wee bit.
And how they aged him.
Yeah,
during the
and how he
song,
should
and
have
how
started
that's my
out as a
favorite.
baby.
No, he should not have started out as a baby.
What's the line that you like when he's first introduced?
Ho, 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 come in and know me better, man. Did I say that already?
Okay, now say that as a baby.
He wouldn't be able to talk.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, then, was there anything that you truly forgot to, like, really get into in the movie? I think you talked about the Ghost of Christmas Past. You talked about the Ghost of Christmas Present a bit. Then you played FMK and just poo-pooed all over my childhood.
Well, I'm sorry, but talking about how sexually magnetic Sam Eagle is a part of my childhood. So it's something
Don't
that
erase
can't
our
be...
experience.
Listen, no one is here to talk about.
don't erase our voices.
No one's here to say that there is not a certain sexual magnetism to Sam Eagle. All right, no one's going to even try to make that argument. That's an impossible argument.
Good.
Yeah, I guess
Genderless argument.
Well, I guess I'm wrong then. I guess you really did it. Like so many things, I went in thinking that I was right, but then I listened to you for a minute and you pointed out some facts. And so I think I'll just say we'll agree to disagree.
Oh, great, fantastic.
Can I ask how it feels to you to have the song be reinstated?
So when I discovered the song had been removed was in college. I did a Muppet Christmas Carol viewing with my residents as an RA, not terribly surprising. And we watched it, and there was two versions. That was the first run DVD. Preceding DVDs did not have this option, but this first run DVD had either a theatrical release or the straight-to-video release. And I was like, oh, well, like, of course, the theatrical one. And that's the one where they removed the song. And when it happened, when this came about, that he's sitting there, and Belle's like, you said that last year, and then she just F's off.
Yeah.
I stood up, and I yelled, and I was like, I'm sorry, everyone, I don't know what happened. And everyone's like, it's fine, please let us watch the movie. And I stopped it, went back to the DVD menu, clicked the video version, and then skipped ahead chapter by chapter. I didn't even go to chapter select.
Oh, and it was on there.
It was, yes. That's the only DVD. I know in my Mansplain I said that none of the DVD releases, but that one DVD release had an option to watch the version with the song. But ever since then, I got really into VHS after college and had a very large collection when Avalon met me, which included that VHS. And I've since then...
It's a very unsurprising part of the Francis story.
I've only ever watched it on VHS ever since then. So to know that it is now easier elsewhere to watch it in that way, because I do think that without that song, it's not the same. I feel like when you see what happened in Scrooge's youth, when you see that he comes to this crossroads where he can either become a good person or a bad person, and this, he's got all these bad person tendencies. He's got like all these things that like make him not such a great dude. But there's this person in his life who helps him be better. And it's sort of his one connection to humanity. And when she goes, all the worst parts of him, there's no checks, no balances. And so he just becomes this really horrible man.
Right. Okay. So I agree with you. I just want to say that first and foremost, I agree with you. I think that the song takes that away from Scrooge's character, but I think two, it also ruins like the musical aspect of the movie's symmetry and all of that. What I want to know is, how did you react to finding out that when we all watched the movie recently, you were not there, but many of our other friends rewatched it with the song, and the overwhelming opinion was that the song is not very good and that it should have been left out. And I just this was not from me, but this was the general reaction of the crowd.
I appreciate you being the messenger.
Did no one tell you?
No one told me. Well,
everyone was afraid to tell you the truth.
I'm sorry I got derailed in answering your very simple question by instead restating something you and Avalon already talked about and not answer your question. So I will answer your question. How do I feel about that song being back? I don't care, because I was watching it on the VHS and it was good by me. I guess I'm glad that it's out there. How do I feel about this new piece of information? Which I kind of feel like this is like a daytime talk show where, I've come on under the pretenses.
And I have them right here.
I've come on under false pretenses. This is just an opportunity to tell me that my friends don't like something great. I don't know, Diana.
I think, listen, Disney execs are not always wrong. They make a lot of weird decisions. This one maybe made sense. The Disney executives, they cut it. They didn't think that it was going to be good for kids. They thought it was going to slow it down. Maybe it does. I think it's a really good song. I would defer to Marty, as I often do when it comes to musical questions. Did I not ask Marty just the other day, Marty, is this song a bop or not?
Did you ask Marty?
I did, yeah. There was a Christmas Carol from the 80s that somehow in 33 years, had never heard before. And I think it's a bop, but I was uncertain, and so I asked Marty, and he confirmed.
Yeah, he is the expert on that.
He verified it's a bop. So I would personally like to ask Marty if Marty considers When Love Is Gone to be a bop. And if Marty does, well, then it's probably a bop. And if Marty doesn't think it's good, then it's not a bop, and it's bad.
Well, it's definitely not a bop.
Marty,
it's a bop of sorts.
We have a question for you. As the musical genius of this foursome.
Thank you for addressing me by my title.
You're welcome. Is When Love Is Gone from A Christmas Carol a bop, yes or no?
I have to answer yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
It's definitely not a bop.
Yeah.
I don't think you could define any ballad as a bop.
It's a slow bop.
No, that you don't
It's
know.
a slow bop.
All you're doing is demonstrating that you don't know what a bop is.
I know what a bop is. I watch television. I know what a bop is.
Let Marty talk.
Marty, what is it then?
I think it's like it's supposed to be the emotional like moment in the movie. It's like a emotionally driven song.
Yeah, I think we'll stick with the word you used earlier, ballad. That seems like something a musical genius would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a bop?
Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Give us a simple thumbs up, thumbs down.
Of the song?
Yeah.
I mean, thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Marty gives it the thumbs
Okay,
down.
so musically, maybe people don't like it. And I think that's fine. I think it's so critical to the movie, and I think it's good. And I think the harmonies between Scrooge and Belle, old Scrooge singing with young Belle as young Scrooge sort of like F's off to the future. I don't know. I think there's something so gorgeous about that. I think that if people don't like it, then I probably don't want to watch Muppet Christmas Carol with them, and that's fine.
I'm actually glad that you pointed out that harmony, because that might be why I don't like it. I think it's creepy.
Why?
Because he seems like lechy and like...
He's not lechy. It was his girlfriend.
Yeah, but like a long time ago.
Well, but it's not like, okay, it's not like he is leching on her at his age now. She's like, it's like if I were watching a video.
He's mourning the memory.
Yeah.
He's mourning
I don't know. I
this
think
moment.
he's mourning the fact that he could have had a tasty snack.
You can't lech on. He had the tasty snack. He had the
Can
tasty
you not
snack.
say tasty snack that way ever again?
He was having that tasty snack all day and all night for a year,
Probably
2
not.
years, 3 years.
Probably not.
Well, you're right.
Probably
well,
not all
back in the
night.
day, though, holding hands was the tastiest snack.
Yeah, just like they killed you once you turned
Yeah.
17 if you were unmarried.
So it wasn't about the snack. It was about getting to really be in love. And it's like watching an old movie, and I don't think it's lechy.
I think that it would be less controversial if it were a little shorter. I think it should be in there, but it should have been shorter.
That movie is 75 minutes. How can that song be long?
It feels.
It doesn't need a
Feels
second
long.
verse.
Well, all I would say is then I guess if you all think that it's not, and you are experts on Muppets based on knowing all the Muppet movies and stuff, so I guess you just know better than Jim
Listen.
Henson. I guess you know better than Jim and Brian Henson.
So now, all right. So this additional piece of information that came to me after the episode was that this guy who is responsible for removing that song has done this before, had done this previously with another movie, and now I can't remember.
It was
what
The
it
Little Mermaid. Supposedly
you.
he wanted to take out part of your world,
Yeah, well, so
which
that-
is it's
'Cause
not
that's a bop.
acceptable. That's not a bop.
it's a slow bop.
It's not a slow bop.
We're
it is
we're
a
not-
powerful and important
Bop.
song.
Change disallowed. Marty's musical expertise is
Questionable.
no, it's just it exists outside of this decade. It's So I don't
But
know
so
if
does
we're
this
gonna
movie.
bring him on.
But you know what? The symbol thumbs up, thumbs down really got to the meat of the issue.
Well, I would like to bring on a second expert if,
Who's that?
You want to phone a friend?
Can
I
you
don't
think
know
of?
any other
You have
musical
no
geniuses.
allies. You have no allies.
I would like to call Brian Henson.
Is he the one that got like disowned?
I didn't know that there were black sheeps in
Is
the Henson
there?
family.
There's a Henson family black sheep, I believe.
What?
I think it's the one who did the Dirty movie.
He doesn't, and were the puppets involved? I assume.
They have to be.
Someone told me this.
That's a Henson family mandate.
Well, I guess if you were to think of a Henson black sheep, then it might be a Henson who was just totally despised puppets. I guess is the other direction
Right.
that could go. Either he would
Hates
make
puppets.
evil puppets or he would just hate puppets altogether.
Hates puppets. Thinks people are better than puppets, like a chump.
You got anything else?
I'm truly, honestly, it's very funny because like I feel like
Brian.
as I was listening to it, I was thinking to myself like, wow, they didn't talk about any of the things that they were supposed to talk about. And then in talking to you and having this opportunity to come here and set the record straight, I have absolutely nothing to add.
I think you do. I think it's just been so long since you listened to the episode that now you don't remember.
Well, this is the kind of thing where you can edit, you can chop it up and
We don't do that.
okay. Well,
I do it a little.
I'll pause then. Let me pause for a second.
Did
Let
you
me
know
really
that Brian
think.
Henson was Hoggle?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't
The
know
voice,
that.
not like the
No,
not in
no,
the
he
puppet.
was Hoggle. That's why he was the black sheep, because he looked like
Yeah,
that.
because he's super creepy and tried to kiss that teenage girl.
That was not in the script.
You know what? That reminds me of a song that was near and dear to his heart.
Scrooge is not trying. It's the all right. It's not going back down that road. Hold on, let me think. All right, film opens. You talked about Gonzo and Rizzo. You acknowledge that that's a really good framing of it. You talked about the Ghost Christmas Past. You talked about her being down in the pool of oil like a scary monster. You talked a little bit about the Ghost Christmas Present. I kind of talked about the way that the ghost. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing.
Do you have any thoughts about the Ghost of Christmas Future? Because I had brought up like that of the 3 new Muppets invented for this, like one needed to go right in the garbage, and that's past. But we didn't really talk about Future.
I don't have a ton to say about Future apart from that. I think of all of the things in that movie, he looks the least real. Like, he looks to me like one of those things you see when you walk into Spirit Halloween store, like one of those like Halloween decorations that
Yeah.
no one in their right mind would spend $700 on.
I would have liked it if they kept the traditional ending of Christmas Carol, where like he opens up his skirt and there's like all the babies under there, but instead they would be Muppet babies. I think that would be a fucking amazing. I know it would take away from the seriousness of the scene, but after we get the emotional exposition of Michael Caine crying, then Ghost of Christmas Future could open up his little skirt and show us all the Muppet babies.
Well, so I
missed opportunity.
I think I know. I think I remember what you're talking about. But in the book, Ghost of Christmas Present also had babies under his skirt. He had what were their names? Famine and like Sadness or something. Like he had like 2 like kids who lived under his skirt who were representative of like all the need and greed in the world. And they were like 2 nasty, like little, like grubby kids. Like you open up the skirt and they're like hissing at you and whatever. And he has the whole thing with Scrooge where he's like, yes, you see the children under my skirt. They are nasty little children.
What
And
the
isn't the
fuck?
world kind of like that? Like, yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
That's
Totally
a direct quote. That's a
direct quote. And I think we can agree, given how much we like the Ghost of Christmas Present, that would have been really off-putting. And it would have really tainted our impression of that guy.
Are you sure it wasn't like under his robe, probably,
Man skirt.
that it was like a reminder of the stark reality
Yes.
of like Feast and Famine, but
But he
probably like a sympathetic or pitiful.
So Ghost of Christmas Present, I think, was a bit of an asshole in the book, and he was kind of shitty about those kids. That's something specifically I remember reading in like fourth grade and being like, he's being real shitty about those kids. I think you're right. Yes, they were a symbol and we're supposed to feel sympathy, but weirdly, the Ghost of Christmas Present is just like, what are these
that's
nasty
his whole point.
kids?
He's living in the moment. He's living in the
and they're
moment.
a
He
downer.
doesn't have time to think about those long-term consequences.
Yeah, they're killing his buzz.
Weird.
These two nasty kids. Can you imagine being born for living only a day, and the bright side is you can conjure feasts out of midair and you get to teach people about the meaning of Christmas and feel pretty good about your career. But the downside is you inexplicably have two nasty little hissing kids following you around all the
Can
time.
I imagine that? No.
Yeah. What's the work-life balance like to be a ghost of Christmas
Way
present?
too many.
None.
No work-life balance.
Toxic positivity, because he's like, no, when you love your job, you don't work a day in your life, and I only live for a day, and I love my work, and all I'm doing is working, and I got these two nasty kids under my skirt.
Why doesn't he just feed
we're
them?
family here on the astral plane.
Why doesn't he just feed them?
Well, that's fucked.
He can conjure feasts.
I know. I think that's the
I
takeaway.
think he does feed them, and it's never enough. I think that's why they're so nasty.
I don't think they're nasty.
They're nasty little kids.
The word nasty is starting to become a nonsense
It is.
word in my ears.
I think they're tasty snacks.
Okay, now it's weird.
Well, I just wanted to say it again.
No.
No.
All right, well, so here's what I'll say, is that you got it right. The episode was perfect. I don't know I don't know why I was so mad. I think I gotta talk to somebody. I gotta process.
All right, Francis, then just FMK,
Okay.
the three ghosts.
The ghost of Christmas Past is a child, so I'll need to kill her. A timeless child, but a child nonetheless.
Okay.
Marry Ghost of Christmas Present. Obviously, fuck death. Fuck the Ghost of Christmas Future.
I bet there's a lot of there's a lot of history that the ghost of Christmas Future needs to like express
Well, all right.
sexually.
Okay, can we put this in the context of a Ghost of Christmas Past that is not the Muppet Christmas Carol Ghost of Christmas Past? Since that ghost is the non-starter?
I mean, we have to do a lot of mental gymnastics to make FMK work.
Could I
So,
bring
yes.
in the Ghost of Christmas Past from Scrooged?
Yeah.
Can you remind me of that one? Yeah.
Oh, it's the actress who is in Kimmy Schmidt, who's like their landlord.
Oh, really?
And her
I
shtick is
don't
that she
remember
keeps
that,
kicking
yeah.
him in the balls.
Yeah, it's like a lot of physical comedy. Scrooged is the best version of a
will not
Christmas
accept-
Carol.
Ooh, all right. I can't agree with that. It's good. I remember liking it, but I don't think I can agree.
I don't think Bill Murray... I think Bill Murray really phones it in that movie. I think he's just Bill Murraying around doing whatever Bill Murray wants to do, and I don't think he's believable.
So we have Bill Murray on the line. Bill Murray, what do you think about what Francis?
Yeah, what do my
said?
supposed friends say about Bill Murray's version of Scrooge, I wonder.
It's great.
Well, anyway, fuck that Ghost of Christmas Past.
Yeah, sure.
Marry Ghost of Christmas... I guess it's still the same. Oh, I don't fuck death in this one, then. I kill death, and then I become death.
Like the
I
Santa
think those
Claus.
are the rules. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
The Death Claus.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about some of your
2020 wrap
2020
up.
nerd year in review. What has nerd culture done for you this year?
Was
What are
nerd
some
culture
of your
done for
favorites?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your best experiences with nerd stuff in 2020?
Your faves.
My top faves.
All right. So, do we want to do categories?
Yeah,
you want to start with games, maybe?
Yeah. What were the categories? Categories were...
It was games, movies and shows, and like nerd like events or things that occurred.
Yeah.
So maybe everybody wants to talk about games.
Let's do it.
Diana, would you like to talk about your games? Your maybe top few, 3.
Yeah, 2020 was like weirdly an unusually good gaming year for me because normally I just replay the same game over and over again, as you know, which I did do. Of course, I did fit in my annual Dragon Age replay, but I also played more new games than I think I ever have. And yeah, it's got to be Spiritfarer is the top experience, game changer for me, and also like was like exactly what I needed in a game at like a very specifically weird time, where like death was just very like overwhelming and all over the place, and then it was like, here's that, but sweet and cute, and you can confront it. So that was a big deal to me. I think like, even though I honestly, one, don't play it anymore, and two, like, don't know if it really deserves this, but I think just because it met the moment in a way that games like should not be able to do without the power of premonition, but Animal Crossing New Horizons has to have like honorable mention as like the game that saved us all.
It
for
did.
a brief window of time.
It at least helped ease us into the transition of losing all of our normalcy.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know if there was like a sedative.
Yeah.
And then it wore off and things were still hard, but at least like that transition into the horror of 2020 was eased,
right,
I would say.
Definitely. And then I'm having trouble. Was the Untitled Goose Game this year?
No, it was last year because it was your Halloween costume last year.
That's right.
Must have been last year. 'Cause we went for Halloween.
That's what Avalon just said.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's important that Marty say it
I really
also.
have a type. Okay, so what else? Games wise, I think, again, the game itself is not my favorite and is not mind blowing, I guess, as a concept. But I like the hero's journey that is Among Us. that like this indie game just, I don't know, became like the GOAT.
Yeah. I definitely thought you meant like within the story there was a hero's journey narrative, and I was like, no. But I see what you mean. You mean the developers.
The developers, and like this like sort of Cinderella story, I guess, is more accurate than hero's journey. But I liked that as a triumph. But I think still the number one is definitely Spiritfarer for sure.
Nice.
How about you?
Game wise, I would say Last of Us 2. And I think that part of that was the experience of playing it, because I started playing it right after Robin was born, where you're in those kind of 2 weeks of like, there is no night, there is no day, food is showing up on your doorstep at all hours, and dinner is just whenever you are awake. And just, we would wake up when the baby woke up, and I would start playing Last of Us 2, and Avalon would watch, and the baby would baby. And we just played through like 40 straight hours of that game. And I don't often get to do that much video gaming, many hours straight. And so I felt very immersed in the story in a way that I might not have otherwise. And I liked that game didn't really pull punches, and didn't really give you options, which I think some folks have criticized, that like you can't, like, it's kind of like you're on a track.
Right. You're watching. I actually am a person who tends to prefer games that give me choices, but I think that this game very clearly went in with the intention of telling you a story and like walking you through a story, which I think is just a different narrative choice, and it's a good one. Yeah,
I really liked that. I think for me, it's sometimes kind of refreshing. Open world games kind of burn me out a little bit just with the amount of choice, but also having to then be in the driver's seat but not having control of where you're going, I think is it was just a nice exercise in letting go, and I thought that the story was really powerful. And I think any game that makes you feel so like viscerally like, please don't do that, you don't have to do that, as you go through it. Plus it's just all the stealthy mechanics that I really like in a game. So I was just stopping and restarting the entire time just so I could get those like perfect sneaky kills.
Yeah, you did do that a lot.
So what about you, Avalon? What are your favorite your top gaming moments of 2020?
Well, for kind of similar reasons to Francis. So my recollection of the fugue state of when we first got home with Robin, and like we were all on a 2-hour sleep wake cycle, is that we set up a fort in our bedroom, and Francis, anytime I would get up with Robin, would play what is it, Paper Mario? The new Paper Mario game?
Oh, yeah.
And I've never seen any of those games be played before. But it was like very funny, and the little dialogues with the different little paper toads and stuff were very like irreverent or whatever. I don't know. So my fugue state baby time memories. I will always be very, very fond of Origami Paper Mario for that reason.
I like that. That's nice. How's that Robin doing?
He's
Wowsy.
doing top notch. The dogs woke him up, so he wasn't totally ready for this, but that's fine.
Oh.
I would say number 2 would be Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
Just
for the same
sheer hours.
reason. Also
Right.
sheer hours, yeah.
I actually paved my entire island during a series of breastfeeding sessions, like just totally decimated all the mountains and rivers to make a large green parking lot. And then only rebuilt around Thanksgiving because I wanted to experience non-COVID holidays in the only way literally that you can in 2020.
Yeah.
Right. Hi, Robin.
And I don't, would number 3 be Outer Wilds maybe?
Oh, you did really like Outer Wilds.
I loved Outer Wilds. I did not
Oh,
like
yeah, that
I hated watching
like a big
that
deal.
more than anything. It was boring and nauseating in a motion sickness way.
I'll actually give it to A Short Hike.
You just played that.
I just played it, but I really enjoyed the experience of it. And I think, Diana, it moved me in the way that Spiritfarer moved you, in the way that Spiritfarer, I wanted to be moved by Spiritfarer, but I didn't, for
quite hit you.
for reasons we have discussed. But yeah, A Short Hike had a lot of that emotional gravitas, but it was also really, really fun.
And Francis actually is immortal, so the concept of death is
It was just totally lost on me.
is very lost on him. He can't really
I'm like Buck in that
enjoy a
way.
game like Spirit.
Who's Buck? Oh, in the game.
Yeah.
Is that a spoiler?
I like.
Yeah.
That's all right. I didn't hear it because I was thinking of my own thing to say.
Oh, yes.
So it's fine. I am imagining that Robin is looking at me and thinks that I'm Matt Mercer. now.
Yes.
And Robin is on my top 10 goals for 2021.
Is Robin?
Robin, no. No, my top goals for 2021, my priorities are to apply to grad school and to meet Robin.
Oh, I love both of those goals.
What kind of grad school?
For hospital administration.
That's really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, we can talk more about it later.
All right,
but
well, I
it's-
definitely
it's
want to
not
talk
that
about
cool.
it because there's nothing I like more than forcefully encouraging people to apply for things.
Yes, and that's so those are my big dreams.
Hi, Robin. Well, Robin is only going to meet you if you apply.
Well, that does it then. Okay, guess I better get that application going.
Well, awesome. Any other media, TV shows, movies? I know
Yeah.
movies is like not a
Movies
thing.
is like
Yeah.
it's so. I think that 2020 for me has been the most rewatches I've ever done in my life in such a condensed period of time. We have rewatched True Blood, Being Human, all of 30 Rock. There's a lot of that. New Girl. What? I feel like there's like 30 more shows that we rewatched in their entirety. And yeah, not a lot of new movies except for Jingle All the Way, which was good.
You've never seen Jingle All the Way?
Not Jingle All the Way.
Jingle Jangle.
Jangle. Sorry,
Okay.
my brain.
I do.
Short
I
circuit.
have been having a really hard time with those two movie titles
Yeah.
personally.
But if you haven't seen it yet, definitely recommend it.
Let's just talk about, generally speaking, nerd culture moment. So moment can either be like an announcement or something that you personally participated in, or what the equivalent of like going to a con might have been.
Yeah.
So I'll share, and then I'm gonna bounce with our baby because he is awake now. I would say for me, it comes down to Extra Life, which is the first time I ever did it. And that was a real blast. And thank you to both of you for like really promoting the hell out of that, because we hit our fundraising goal and then doubled it. The fraternity that was participating as a team. So that was really, really cool. I will do it again next year, but I will not do bad math, because I, instead of doing 24 hours of gaming, did 36 hours of being awake, and that was rough.
Yeah.
But really, really magical in its own special way, because I was totally delirious through several of those hours and got to meet a lot of people. So that was just a really special moment. I would say I almost said Minecraft is one of my 2020 games, because this was the first year I really got into it. But it was actually more of like a moment, because I was playing Minecraft constantly at like until 3:00 in the morning. I was trying to like get in all of my all-nighters before knowing like when the baby came, I would not be able to like stay up that late playing video games. So there was many nights where I was just staying up till 3, playing Minecraft and listening to audiobooks about pregnancy. But at the same time, a bunch of our friends got into it too. And so it was really like John was like working overnight. So me and my friend John were just always up playing Minecraft, and we did a special Diana celebration.
That's right, for Diana's birthday.
That was one of my favorite things. Is there video of that?
There is. I am an idiot and didn't know how to like actually record streaming videos, so it's a video of my GoPro pointed at my Switch handheld. But we built you a chicken because you really liked chickens. We found you a new land. Like, we handpicked it. Like, we went through the nether until we found a spot, like, way, way off in this new world that you could make into your own. And we're like, this is a beautiful mountain upon which we shall build Diana's chicken. And we built you a giant chicken, and then we filled that giant chicken with chickens.
Yes.
And it was...
And the chicken just drops eggs right out of its belly all day long.
It does, yeah. It was really much harder to do than one might think.
Just like, and then what I did in my new land, my new kingdom, is I built a 4x4 mud shack where I could just keep more chickens. Because the only thing I really loved in Minecraft was the chickens. I was really obsessed with chickens and kind of the llamas, but mostly the chickens.
What about the sheep?
No, I never got.
They're fucked up looking.
attached
I
to
don't
the
like them. They look like gremlins.
But the chickens are just, they're
chickens are
they're
cute.
agents of chaos. They're so adorable. Yeah, that was a fun moment in time.
We'll get ready
really
for a revisit this winter when the new DLC launches, because they're going to be making new ways of exploring underground. Totally new caverns, underwater lakes. So I plan on taking a
Underwater lakes?
Yeah, underwater lakes.
I don't know. I was like, well, that Minecraft. It didn't occur to me that was
lakes.
Well, as long as the chickens are still there,
they will be there.
Then I'll be happy.
Maybe there will be underwater chickens.
And there will be axolotls, or however you refer to it.
Axolotls?
Thank you very much. And then I would just say my third thing would be this nerd room that y'all are currently in.
Yes. Yeah.
We had to move very unexpectedly and very disruptively. And so Avalon and I just kind of decided, like, if we're going to be moving, let's really make this new place our own, and let's do some of the things house projects wise we've been putting off. And so I'd always had this dream of having like a really sweet retro game set up. And I had never been able to kind of like follow through on that, but I took a few weeks and, set up a projector and like strung all the consoles and got some like HDMI and component switches. I also simultaneously got really into collecting video game OSTs, and so I made a video game OST wall. So it was like this real kind of embracing of nerd stuff, and getting to like really have a space for that in our new home. And it was, for a while, we hadn't really worked on the nursery or the bedroom or literally any other space of the house, but we had really gone ham on this room, so it was kind of like the escape room, the room you escape to, not the escape room.
Right.
Not the room you escaped from.
Yes, that was every.
I
other
like
room
it a
in the
lot.
house.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for me.
Well, thanks for joining us
Thanks,
reluctantly.
Francis.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. It was fun. I'm sorry that I thought that I had anything to say about Muppet Christmas Carol that you hadn't
You
already
did,
said.
but then you got nervous.
I didn't get nervous.
You had a lot to say about
What
it.
did I? Well, it doesn't matter now.
Francis, I will just tell you that you are forgiven for all your sins, your many sins. But no, we actually genuinely liked having you, so thank you.
Well, I will say on the subject of forgiving sins, that does kind of bring us back around full circle, because I would now like to spend the second hour talking to you both about the Christ child.
No.
Okay. All right.
See, much like us, you spent a lot of your precious time talking about something else.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Well, Avalon, now I want to know what your favorite overall nerd moment was.
Okay. So I chose our Fair Fight stream fundraiser.
You did.
I did.
Yeah. And you
'Cause I
really
was proud of that.
spearheaded that as a project too.
I'm trying to spearhead a little more of the old projects. So it was nice that it was successful.
It really was.
And
yeah.
it was fun. I was way too anxious about it. And then the second it started, I was chill because that's just how I live my life.
That's how it goes.
So that was my number one. But my close second was actually the iHunt game because it was the first time I ever got to play with you as a character.
Yeah.
First
that has
and
literally
last
never
time.
happened. Yeah, we're never doing that again.
No, but it was that made me really happy. I really enjoyed our session 0, and I really liked getting to play. And I wish that it had been more than a one shot, specifically because I really was so excited that we got to play together.
Yeah, that was a big highlight for me too.
Yeah.
Just that we actually got to play a game together that one of us was not the DM and we were actually like interacting together. So that's a big thank you to Drac for doing that intentionally.
Yes.
Which was nice. And yes, also the Fair Fight stream, the fundraiser, amazing. But like, I guess obviously I my big moment, I think that the Neverland setting thing brought me lots of little moments, mostly good, a couple of ugly, but most of the time it was like a lot of good nerd moments from that. But I think that the one that is forever going to stick out in my mind is when I was just doing my nightly Google of Peter Pan facts for a completely unrelated reason.
Yes.
Because I was just looking up some quotes that I had forgotten. And when I was doing that, I saw my name like come up in a preview from a window that I didn't recognize and clicked on it and realized that it was the Wikipedia page for Peter Pan and that somebody had put me in it under like the pop culture references or whatever. And I think I've probably thought about that once every 48 hours since.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
that
wonder
was
who
pretty
did that. Well, that's awesome. And
I've posted about it on Twitter asking like so that I could thank this person for doing that, but they don't. And I am not allowed to edit Wikipedia articles. I found out because I went to go check, and I think that I was involved in some sort of trolling of a politician.
I
like
see.
2012, and I
You're
tried
banned.
and my email address was like, you do not have authorization to edit.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of like them being anonymous because
I
I don't know.
know.
It just feels fancier. But I'm so proud of you. And obviously, yeah, there should be a million. Wow, you have so many. I would rather just do like year in review of like shit that you've done.
It feels like I did a lot, but then I try to list it and it's pretty much just that and like a bunch of like TikTok videos. I don't know. I don't
the
know.
werewolf thing.
Yeah, Four Phases was a big
Four
deal.
Faces was a big deal. You had like dice made.
I know. And I've just literally been playing with them. The whole time.
That's very funny.
They're like right next to me. Yeah, the Four Phases was a big deal for many reasons, which, I mean, we've talked about at length together, but like one, getting to like work with Gabe on something is a magical thing because he is so
Handsome.
collaborative and very
Smart.
handsome. It is
Nice.
Yeah, he's a lot of nice qualities in a person, but he's also a timeless fae prince that I'm sure is but he's so collaborative, and he like really like hears what everybody wants, which is nice. And then Die Hard Dice are kind of the same way. I didn't really realize how intimately involved with like the indie creators that they're like so they're so entrenched in the scene, and it's so nice. And then just being able to play a system that I love, which is the storyteller system, but to play in a game and not make it what sometimes those games can be, which is, you know, a grimdark edge fest, you know, and to have like some real focus on story. I think that game had exactly the ratio of like story to combat that I want in a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a big deal too.
I just remembered that website somebody made
for
that NPC.
MariaBuildShit.com.
Yes.
Yeah. There's like an email on there. I don't know where those things are going, or if anybody has sent emails to MariaFixesShit.com. I'll have to find out. But yeah, that's there were so many good moments in that. And I don't know. Yeah, there were like 2020 was definitely a year of, I feel like, extremes.
Yeah.
Like there were some really dark lows, a lot of them, but then like the good moments were like
super hot,
pretty good. Yeah.
I feel that way too.
Yeah,
you know,
but you had a son.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but really, yeah, like it can be hard sometimes to know how to navigate those conversations in some ways, because I have a few really huge things to be grateful for with 2020, but not in such a way as to be insensitive to how horrendously impactful it has been globally, you know, and
yeah.
So, and then like, where's the balance where you're allowed to celebrate some things for yourself, or, you know, so.
Yeah,
but
I know.
I have a happy kid most of the time, so just try to focus on that.
You did a good job making that kiddo.
I baked a good kid.
You did. He's very good, and he's got very chaotic hair, which I think is what I gave him.
Yes, I think so
that
too.
was my.
He does. Yeah, that explains. I think he has your hair. That must be.
Yeah, he has my hair.
It's funny because we took him to the doctor the other day, because we don't take him anywhere, but he had to get some vaccines, and the woman who checks you in and asks if you're symptomatic and takes your temperature at the door was like trying to sneak a peek of him, and it is Carrier, and she was like, oh, so much hair. Like, yeah.
You can tell people that he's 1/8 Armenian.
Yes. That's how that works.
That's how you'll explain
yes.
it. Yeah. So Avalon, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do after 2020's over?
I'm going to pray that 2021 is different than 2020.
Yeah. Different. I like that the bar is so low that you didn't even say better. Just something different than what we've just done.
Definitely better. I definitely hope better. I feel like it has to be better. Not to be too much of a centrist, which I'm not, but I'm assuming that it must in some ways inevitably be marginally better given the new president. I don't think it's going to be great.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's certainly not going to be great. But there are some hopeful things. Mostly, I mean, my step one is just all virus related. And
Correct.
on that front,
Same.
I feel like that will hopefully get taken care of in the best way possible.
Yes. And you're vaccinated.
I am 50%
50%
vaccinated. Yep. I have my second one on January 4th.
So that's already better.
Ringing in the new year with a vaccine, which means that basically nothing for me will change except for that I can feel a little less anxious all the time until more people get vaccinated. So please, if you have the opportunity to, do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my hope for 2021 is that I get to meet Robin.
Yeah.
And see you two again, and maybe my family. I'm not holding out for 2021 conventions or any of that ridiculousness. I don't think that's happening. But just to see like a couple of the very important people, I'm hopeful for that.
Yeah, I would love to see my mom, for Robin to meet any of my family.
Yeah.
And I'd like some kind of like cool, innovative online convention alternatives.
That isn't just like people streaming the way that they normally stream,
Yeah.
but with a convention title. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like that's doable. Like, it's not going to be great, but I feel like there's some potential for something creative and cool there that I almost want to like start the ball rolling on it, but I have no idea what I'm even saying. So
yeah, same.
All right, well, if you want to help us plan our online convention, reach out.
Yeah, or just do it.
Or do it for us.
Yeah, thanks. All right, bye.
Bye. Happy New Year.